What's good, everybody? It's Lucky. I hope y'all been taking care of yourselves. I know I have. In this video today, I'm going to be talking about how to connect with millionaires. In this video, I'm going to talk about how I approach these rooms, how I build real relationships, and how I make people remember me. Without further ado, let's get into it.
What I said I wouldn't do it, but I did that shit again. Bet on myself and I came out correct. Top floor shit, man, I deserve the best. I kept my circle small, I ain't do this with no friends. I did this with my brothers, they had my back to the end. If you ain't speaking in summer, nigga, then you ain't my kin.
Before I get into the first topic, I want to say two things. Number one, millionaires are people just like you. Meaning, you're not going to connect with every single one. So if you have the mentality thinking that you can connect with everybody, millionaire or not, regular person or celebrity, you're going to be defeated because you realize that you don't want to connect with everybody yourself. And if you do, then you have some issues that you got to address. But that's the first thing. Number two, it's not about what you know, nor is it about who you know, but it's about what that person knows you for. Keep that in mind throughout this video. All right, question number one. Lucky, how do you approach these rooms? Well, I appreciate you for asking. When I think of going into rooms with high income people, right, I don't look at them as millionaires. That's the first thing you got to do. Change your perspective and, remove them from the pedestal that you have them on. When I go into rooms with high net worth and high income, producing skilled people, my mentality is like a shark, like a shark in the sense that I want to be relentless with, being myself to the fullest capabilities. I see a lot of people get into the notion of, trying to portray themselves as equals with these people or trying to portray themselves as something that they're not. And, in my experience, it hasn't brought me success. It's only made me wish that I've been myself more and that I've given an individual the chance to want to connect with me for me, rather than trying to connect with me from some made up, fictitious person that I created in my head. So when I'm entering these rooms, I'm not having people on the pedestal, right? People may have some crazy things, some stuff that you may not see on a day-to-day basis, but it doesn't necessarily make them any different from me and you. So that's number one. Number two, you have to be able to embody who you are truly, right? If you got a couple of character traits that define you, relentlessness, humility, hardworking, let them character traits define you, right? One thing that works for me is being an embodiment of, my desire to get knowledge. So whenever I'm connecting with these individuals, I always lead with a learner's perspective, right? What does that mean? I lead with asking questions, picking people's minds. I don't necessarily want to make statements, even though statements do happen, but the goal is not to make statements and waste the conversation. A lot of people go into rooms like this and they essentially waste opportunities in which they could have been learning from an individual because they tried to put themselves on equal playing field. So in a room or in a situation where you was essentially talking all about yourself to somebody who has loads of knowledge, I was also in that room, but I got different results from you because I instead decided to pour into the fact that these people know something that I don't. So why don't I bridge that gap and put myself in a position that's better than what I came in for? So you have to first be able to, number one, remove the people that you're connecting with from the pedestal that you put them on. Number two, choose a couple of character traits that you really resonate the most with and embody them to the fullest. Be an embodiment of those character traits, because this is gonna all tie into the third part. So keep that in mind. And number three, give them an opportunity to talk about themselves by asking questions, right? You don't want it to be a conversation in which you've wasted it because all you were doing was talking about some bullshit, when in reality, you could have been talking about something that's intellectual and that could have driven both of y'all forward. All right, question number two. Lucky, how do I go about building real relationships with these people? Well, I'm also glad you asked. I like the art of networking. I like going to events in which, the goal is to learn, to network, to mingle, to have fun with it. Not all professional events should be type of mentality. It shouldn't be like that, and the people who created them didn't design for it to be like that. I love these networking events because it really gives me it gives people the opportunity to see people who've done this before, as well as to see people who don't know shit about networking, right? Anytime I go to a networking event, and I'll give you an example. Anytime I go to an event, I'm always seeing somebody who's like leading with a very giddy, happy face type of mentality, it's almost as if they're a bobblehead, right? Their teeth is always showing. Whenever they're talking to successful people, it's like they're talking more about themselves. They're spitting a shitload of information at them rather than trying to connect with them on a deeper level. And I'm looking at them, I'm like, yo, bro, if somebody hasn't told you, I'll be the person to tell you, bro, you need to shut the fuck up. Whenever you open your mouth and you start spitting information at an individual like a motorboat, subconsciously the person that you're talking to wants you to shut your mouth, because you're just telling them a bunch of stuff that they're not going to remember to begin with, right? The chances of you remembering something like random about a person the first time you meet them is very low compared to if you connect to them or connect with them on something actually meaningful that both of y'all share interests and passions with. That goes to my first point, right? Connecting with somebody based off of something that y'all both share in common. Being able to embody a characteristic trait that you may have. Who knows? What if both of y'all share that characteristic trait in common? Now instantly, that person has put an attribute to you in your face and to your name. Remember what I said. It's not about what you know or about who you know, but it's about what that person knows you for. Moral of the story, whenever you go to events and whenever you're networking and connecting with high income people, your mentality should not be to lead with that giddy energy, gig 'em, relax, bro. You gotta chill out. It's not even all about that, bro. You just gotta chill and be yourself and relax. Repetition and exposure is gonna create excellence. Another point that I also want to mention is that building relationships is a skill, right? It's like a flower, it's like a plant. You have to be able to put in some time, some love, and some nurture into your plant if you expect for it to grow. So if you expect for a seed to sprout into a nice, beautiful tree in a span of 3 days, you're mistaken, right? A lot of people make connections and it goes well the first time, but over a period of time, they stop doing what it takes to be able to grow that relationship. What do I mean by that? They stop following up, they stop checking in, they stop essentially giving that person a reason to remember them, right? And I'm not gonna lie, bro, whenever you're dealing with high income people and just connecting with people who are on a higher caliber, you gotta understand that people are busy. So if you text somebody once and they don't respond to you, you have to remove the ego out and you have to be able to hit them up again. If not, you're just gonna burn a relationship because of your ego. So keep that in mind. Also remember that following up at least once weekly, or just sending them a message or a chat, or sending them some pictures about something that you did, that right there really goes a long way, right? One OP skill that I wanna give y'all is every week or every 2 weeks, I make sure to do something that's like interesting outside of the schoolwork and the actual work and all the other shit that I have to do in my life. I make sure to do something interesting, capture some good visuals of it, as well as, have some takeaways. And I like to send that to each high income producing person in my contact list. And guess what? Over a period of time, I've grown that contact list from maybe 3 or 4 people to over 50 plus people. So it's like, I damn near need to start thinking about creating an app to help me do this, because it's become so much people in my contacts and in my network that I can't afford to, remember everything off of my memory and forget, which intel is gonna fuck up my relationship. So my advice, go ahead and do something like really cool, and you get bonus points if you're able to tie in what you did with something y'all talked about, and make sure to thank them for what you learned, because you learned X, Y, and Z from them and you were able to apply it to Y, Z, or whatever. And now you're up. If you send them a message about that, they'll feel phenomenal. Think about it. If you have a mentee, somebody that you pour time, energy, and wisdom to, if they send you a text saying, hey, look, I won this competition, or hey, look, I received this blah, 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 or I received this award, and the reason why is because of the advice that you gave me, it really changed my perspective and it put me in a position to be successful. So I just want to say thank you, nothing more and nothing less. I'm telling you, if you do that shit over a period of time, your relationship is gonna grow from level 1, which is I know of this person, to level 2, I know this person. This person's the executor, and this person does what they say, and they're more than who they appear to be. Another thing I want to say about building relationships is, you got to hit people up with this script, right? I'm giving y'all the game. After you thank them for meeting them in the beginning, thank them for the advice and the wisdom that they gave you. Hit them with is it possible for me to get on your calendar, on your schedule within the next couple of weeks? I would love to hop on a call if it's, if you're available or if you're free, so I can learn more about X, Y, and Z. So I can learn more about your story, or so I can learn more about blah, blah, blah. If you're able to set up bi-weekly calls with an individual, you now have opportunity to hit them up. And the reason why I say, is it possible for me to get on your schedule within the next couple of weeks, is because whenever you're meeting somebody, especially somebody who might be an entrepreneur, somebody who might have a family, somebody who might have a lot of responsibilities, which is why they have a high net worth to begin with, you have to be able to understand that these people are not just available every time. And even if they were, you're at the bottom of their priority list, right? They got a million other shit that they got to deal with. They got a million other people that they have in their network who mean significantly more than them. You have to use these bi-weekly to monthly calls to give yourself the opportunity to show them who you truly are. And over time, it'll go from, is it possible for me to get on your calendar within the next couple of weeks, to the, yo, what's good, bro? You trying to hop on a call? Or, yo, what you doing? Or to just straight up calling, right? Straight up like that. If they answer, they answer. If they don't, it is what it is. They're going to hit you as soon as they're doing whatever they're doing. So you have to put yourself in position to grow the seed, right? All of these different things are ways that you nurture a relationship. You can't just do one. You have to do all of them over a period of time. And then, whenever you level up from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, you'll start to be in a position where you're having lunch with them at least twice a month. You're doing stuff with them once a month, you know what I'm saying, or every other month. You're getting invited to certain events. You're getting exclusive tickets. You're getting treated with a different level of just overall respect. And you can tell that you're higher on their priority list. So keep that in mind and make sure you implement everything, not just one thing, because it's really going to set the tone, and it's really going to show who's really good at networking versus who saw a 60-second TikTok video and thought that they were going to change their lives overnight. All right, ladies and gentlemen, the last question is lucky. How do I make these people remember me? I look at it as really just being yourself, right? If there's something about you that is like unique, if there's something about you that is uncommon, uncanny, interesting, then people are naturally gonna remember you, right? I have a superpower, my name is Lucky. Not too many people have unique names like that. But forget about my name. Let's say my name was Bob. Even though my name would be Bob, my personality in and of itself and my work ethic would speak so much for me that me having a name like that wouldn't necessarily hurt me. So I'm a very charismatic individual, very charming, I mean business. I have different sides of me. There's a side of me that's like, there's a version of me that's like fun. There's another version of me that's like chill. Then there's a version of me that's straight serious, straight business, straight on my P's and Q's, right? You have to be able to know the different versions of yourself, as well as to be able to know when to show those different versions of yourself. One thing that I had to learn is to not limit conversations with my mentors to just being about business or entrepreneurship. It was something tough because, I'm Lucky. You feel me? I'm Lucky, meaning that's my name, not I'm a lucky individual. I'm Lucky, and it's like entrepreneurship is so deeply ingrained and deeply rooted into me, right? I invest in the stock market. I go crazy. I'm a hustler. Like, I just look at the world from a very systems perspective. Whenever I'm bored, I read books about entrepreneurship. I read books about the psychology of negotiation. I like to listen to very successful people, right? I like to listen 10 times more than I speak. I like to put myself in rooms and environments. Whenever I'm bored, I don't go to the club. I go to a fucking conference. You feel me? So I had to realize that, your relationship with an individual shouldn't be just based off of mentorship in business, but you got to realize that, these individuals, once you've elevated from level 1 to level 2 to level 3, is that they're more than just business advice. They're also life coaches, right? They can put you on game with mistakes that they've made in their life that has nothing to do with business or entrepreneurship. What do you mean by that, Lucky? Let me tell you. A couple of weeks ago, I hopped on one of my bi-weekly calls with a mentor. And the day before, I had reflected and I had told myself, or I had came to the assumption and the conclusion that I don't want all my mentorship connections to be strictly business. So when we started that call, I let him know about the thoughts that I've been having. And then I switched it up. I James Harden stepped back on him and I hit him with the, hey, I want to get your perspective on something that we don't usually talk about. Can you tell me more about what it's like to balance entrepreneurship as a father and as a husband? That one question, it turned a 15-minute checkup call to a 67-minute call in which, my mentor was able to open up with me with stuff that I never thought he would. And it really made me feel like, why haven't I been doing this sooner? Why haven't I been doing this? The results that I got, it truly affirmed to me that the art of building relationships with people should not be just limited to this. It shouldn't just be limited to what you want from an individual. It shouldn't just be limited to the superficial stuff in life. Life is more than that. And if you only look at somebody successful, a high income individual, from the perspective of what can you give me, only talk to me about what I want you to talk to me about, eventually that person is going to be drained, because that motherfucker is an entrepreneur, a business owner. They're very good at what they do, which is why they're in the position that they're in. And now every time you want to talk about something that has nothing to do with why he was put on this earth. All my mentors, they were put on this earth to be an embodiment of great characteristic traits to their children and to their wives. You have to be able to keep that in mind, right? If you continue to lead with the superficial type of mentality, your eyes light up and you become extremely giddy whenever you're talking about like superficial stuff. And if that's all you talk about, eventually your mentors or the people that you want to be your mentors are only going to classify you with that. And then it's going to come to a point where it's draining to talk to you. So you have to keep that in mind. All right, so I'm back in my apartment and I forgot that I left something very important out. You have to be able to be valuable and to provide value. What do I mean by that? You have to be working on building yourself. You have to have a desire to want to be something that you're not. You have to have a desire to want to be greater than where you're currently at right now. You have to have a desire to want to be more than what you look like, more than the cars that you were dealt with growing up, more than your parents, more than anything outside of the fact that you are who you are. You have to want to be more than that. Having a strong desire to get better over a period of time and get better for sure, that's going to distinguish you from most people that successful people connect with. So keep that in mind. I don't just get opportunities that I get just because I do everything that I talked about in this video. I get everything that I get because I do everything that I talked about in this video at a very elite level, like times 10, like go crazy. I go hard in the paint. And I also am a valuable individual. What do I mean by that, right? Resume, accolades. What do I currently do? What am I studying? What have I won? What can I use to articulate value, right? You have to be able to ask yourself, what can you use in your life to articulate your value? What if you don't have any value, Lucky? What if you don't have any value, Lucky? Well, I challenge you to reconsider that perspective. You do have value, it's just not where you want it to be yet. So you have to ask yourself and look at it from a holistic perspective. Where are you right now? Where do you want to be? And what do you have to do to get there, right? Put yourself in a position to be successful, to be valuable, or to appear to be on your pursuits of success and happiness. So keep that in mind. And I'm not gonna lie, it does help a lot going to a school like A&M. It does help a lot being an engineer, but it's not about the school that you go to, because a lot of people can go to a certain school and still come out with shit ton of debt, and in plain and layman's terms, they can still come out as losers because the school didn't make you. It was what you took from the school, and it was what you did with the opportunities and resources that you had there. So keep that shit in mind. You have to also be extremely valuable. You have to be willing to provide value to individuals in whatever way you can, right? I'm not gonna be able to give a motherfucker $10 million and support their business. I'm not there yet, you feel me? And even if I was there, I'm not just gonna do that to get somebody to be my friend, right? If it makes sense and if it aligns with my morals as well as with my vision, then I'll do it. But if it doesn't, I'm not gonna do it. It doesn't change the fact that if you are a student, you can still provide value to individuals, right? What do I mean by that? Okay, I'll explain. Provide value to them in any way, shape, or form. They may have children that are interested in going to the school that you go to. Put them on game, teach them how to get scholarships, talk to them about what's going on campus, etc. They may be curious about a certain thing, like artificial intelligence. I'm an engineer. I use AI more than anybody, and the reason why I'm so successful and why I'm able to land these different interviews and jobs and just put myself in a position of success is because I utilize AI as a tool, and I know more about AI than a regular person does. So you have to be able to articulate that to these people. And yeah, man, just provide value in any way, shape, or form. Listen first, understand the position that these people are in. Use little bits of information to your advantage. Oh, I have a son who's 17 years old. He's looking at X, Y, and Z schools. I got buddies in X, Y, and Z schools. Connect them with each and every one of them. Get them on a tour. Do whatever you can do, but make sure it aligns with your morals. Just had to add that. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope the video was able to help you. I know y'all ain't seen me in a minute, but just know that I've been grinding. Check out my LinkedIn and my Instagram if you still want to stay tapped in with me. Success is inevitable. Whenever you do what you need to do, success no longer becomes a matter of if, but a matter of when. Ladies and gentlemen, it's Lucky, and I'm out.
Think that I'm a crib, but I ain't crunking. Got her on her knees, back and said, ooh, I like she a monkey. Double up my cup, you can't see a thing, I'm sipping muddy. I'm high on the plane, sipping on champagne, I'm feeling lovely. Bitch, my name Lil Lucky, magician, I turn nothing to something.